From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big midday with great news about your fourth stimulus check, those monthly stimulus checks that could start landing in your bank account in the month of July, the single biggest payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel. Fifth stimulus coming in September that could have major changes for your SSI SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits that could increase your benefits lifetime and increase them year after year thereafter at about 1 to 4%. Meantime, big news also about third stimulus checks that have been unpaid. And finally, just minutes ago, big, great news reversing yesterday and even this morning, surprise developments about the worries of a capital gains tax. The markets slumped dramatically yesterday on the fear that the president was going to double the capital gains tax in 2022. Well, the big news coming out of Wall Street is it's never going to happen. Maybe a slight increase, but not the one the president wants. Incredible, great news. Meantime, I'll have the latest about what's going on with Bernie Sanders with a new bill. Does it make sense or does it not? The wealth tax, Elizabeth Warren for $2,400 of SSI and SSDI, student loan debt forgiveness, and the big news just minutes ago coming from SBA. Oh yes, get your scarf ready. Circle around again. Range of ideas are coming up. This is Noontime LA. Good noontime, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It's a Friday afternoon. It is cold here in Los Angeles, but major surf coming to LA beaches. So if you like surf and don't get seasick from my surf videos on this channel, then certainly hit to the beach later today, but it's cold. If you've not subscribed, meantime, subscribe because we're approaching our 1 year anniversary in just a few hours. April 25th, our 1 year anniversary. What a wonderful run it's been. Approaching 400,000 subscribers. Let's get it there. Also like this video, and if you've not become a member, today's the day to become one because there's a lot of big PDFs hitting. Link is at the top of the chat in the pinned comment. Let's get to the breaking news. Big development details just minutes ago as the White House is now being pushed back by Wall Street, saying that the fears of the president doing a capital gains tax increase of nearly 100% change or doubling the capital gains tax next year is not going to happen, meaning he'll never get it through. That you'll potentially see a few percentage points at best, so don't worry. That's why Wall Street's reversing itself. It's big news for fourth stimulus, and I'll explain to that later in this recording. But let's get to the big news about fourth stimulus. As we go into the late afternoons of Friday, fourth stimulus has everything lined up exactly like you would want it. All indications now suggest that you're going to get a monthly stimulus check from July to December, that the stimulus check would be paid to the same people who got the third stimulus check, and then it may come in a faster, simpler way than prior stimulus checks have been coming. It would not be a taxable event, it would not change your benefits, and it would be the single biggest payout you've ever seen as a viewer of this channel, upwards of $8,000 to $12,000 a person. Let's go over the breaking details. First, stimulus checks, monthly stimulus checks, reoccurring fourth stimulus checks, were dependent upon two major factors as sort of the antagonist or the protagonist or the worrisome issues that could derail it. Well, those two worrisome issues have gone back in the box, and the box has been sealed closed as of right now. Those two worrisome issues were that, one, that the president could do this by bipartisan support, and two, that Wall Street was going to show economic rebounding at a growth rate faster than the prior weeks that we have seen. Well, we learned this week that both of those events are not going to be happening. First, we learned that bipartisan support is not going to be happening anytime soon and will never happen. What we saw this week is that the Republicans not only had a line in the sand, but that line in the sand actually moved backwards. The Republicans actually reduced their offer lower than it was over the last 4 weeks, meaning the president doesn't have a deal offer. But what's also really important is that the economic rebounding of this economy is going smoothly, but not at a rate too accelerated or faster than we had initially thought. What's important to understand is that there's 8 million jobs missing and 17.6 million Americans unemployed. And there was worries that those numbers could be restored by July before they get this to a vote. Not going to happen as of the current economic data, meaning that economic recovery would come in at the end of this year, not in the middle of the summer. So let's go to the big money and how this big money would work and how the issue at hand is important. Again, for stimulus, the issues were speed, economic rebounding, and jobs restoring before anything else. Those things are not happening according to the new economic data this week. Who gets forced stimulus? If you make less than $75,000, it's you. If the household is 4 or less, it's you. And if you're on SSI or SSDI, it is you. How would you get the stimulus checks and how would they work and what would be the provisions about them? Let's go over it starting right now. First, the issue is how many checks. House members want to have the pandemic plus 1 additional year. So if the pandemic has 6 more months to it, then that would be 18 checks. The senators would pay you between now and December. The House members are progressives. The senators are Democrats, movers and shakers, more moderates. And then the amounts per month, well, the House wants to do $1,000 a month. The Senate wants to do an amount unknown, but word on the street is it's a lot more money, just less checks of it. And here you go. These are the graphics that many believe are the reality. $2,000 a month from senators between July and December, $12,000 a person, or $1,400 a month between July and December, $8,400 a person. Again, let's recap. 1, this is per person. 2, if a married couple, you would double this. 3, household 4 or less, well, if there's 4 people in the household, you would times this by 4. And finally, if you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security Rural Benefits, this is you. This is not income. It's not taxable. It would not count towards your benefits. And the first check would land in the month of July, for the month of July, and continue thereafter. Viewers have asked me, how do you think it's going to come to us, physically come to us? I say, and then certainly it's just my prediction, no word on the street particularly about it one way or the other, but my prediction, it's going to be the Sanders-Harris plan, which was a debit card sent to you and then it's replenished with money every month. Now, why does this suddenly seem to be happening in a greater rate of probability than ever before? At the moment, it looks like there's nothing derailing this. The 2 issues that could have derailed it were 1, bipartisan support, and 2, an economy rebounding faster than expected. This is how the week started. The GOP were saying no to the president's $2 trillion forced stimulus package, no to climate, and $600 to $800 billion for infrastructure. The week ended with the Republicans getting worse, or going lower, or going further away to partisanship. Not 600, 800 billion, now 500 billion, and actually less across the board, meaning no deal. And then how about the economic data? The economic data is a mixture of some data that I show on this channel and some data I don't show. And all it's signaling is basically the following. We're not rebounding so fast that the jobs will be restored by August. Here's what you need to know. A week ago, we saw that 250,000 people got jobs from the week before. We saw the unemployment number drop 250,000 in 1 week, not this week, but the week before. Well, there was concern that we would see that again this week. We didn't. We saw a flat number, meaning our growth and our recovery level was the same. And there you are. 547 new unemployment claims on Thursday morning. The previous week, 576. So we're about stable. Not a lot of changes across the board. Nothing to worry about. And then we also saw a big signal of why forced stimulus would go by recon. This. What are you looking at? You're looking at what's happening in September. The president in September is proposing to spend $1 trillion on top of the $3 trillion he's looking to spend in July. If this looks like a lot of money, it is. It's $6 trillion over 9 months. Are Republicans going to support spending $6 trillion over 9 months? Never. And that means why we're going to reconciliation. And with that reconciliation in September comes the incredible, jaw-dropping, great news that you and I have wanted for a long time, and it's line 1 of this graphic. OMG. SSI reform coming from the Democrats this September. SSI reform in the 5th stimulus. Let me explain the incredible great news. You should be categorically ecstatic. You know, let me explain first what's happening, and let me also explain the background. I started this channel approaching now 1 year. And early on, when I had a couple hundred subscribers, I made a video about SSI and SSDI, Social Security Railroad Benefits. The video went viral, 3 million views. No one of a channel of that size ever goes viral with 3 million views for one video. It's very rare to have a video in the financial space ever go viral like that. It did because no one was talking about you. And it was at a time that Elizabeth Warren was trying to give you help, President Biden, or at that time, candidate Biden was trying to give you help, and no one was speaking to you. No one's explaining things. And I stayed on point. But in September and October, November, December, we got a little bit discouraged because we saw that President Biden was doing transition papers about your benefits, but not delivering. And then when we went into the 3rd stimulus, it wasn't there. And while I stayed on point, hashtag SS200, we still didn't see a lot. We saw a wealth tax bill introduced by Elizabeth Warren in January, which would fund the $2,400 of SSI and SSDI, but it hasn't been called for a vote, and we didn't know what was going on with it. Well, finally that changed this week. OMG. About a couple handful of Democratic senators, House members, anywhere from Pete DeFazio, who I talked about last October, from the Northwest, a very, very good House member who has fought for you to raise your benefits, signed a letter that is incredibly detailed. It's not one of those 4-sentence letters. It's almost like a memo to the president and the vice president, calling for comprehensive reform that would pay you an enormous amount of money. Let me tell you broadly what it is, and I'm going to go over the specifics. It's very easy and breezy to follow. First, the proposal would give you more benefits, higher asset allocation, a new inflationary benchmark, removing the income exclusion, and removing the marriage penalty. All right, let me go over each of those one at a time because they're very easy to understand. First, it would take your current benefit amount and raise it to a new number. That would be your new number going forward. Yes, your total new number going forward. You would no longer be at the number you are now. And when I'm referring to you, I'm referring to SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad Benefits, and Veterans Benefits. A brand new number higher. That would be your new number going forward. Number 2, every December when you get that reassessment of benefits letter where they determine, should we raise you a little bit more? You would see a nice raise annually, potentially. You would be tied to the inflationary rate. The U.S. inflation rate has generally been 1% to 4% over the last couple years. And so it's just a guarantee, a beautiful guarantee, that you'll see 1% to 4% increase on your benefits annually every year. Remember, you'll never go down. You'll just keep on going up or stay the same. But in most cases, you'll generally be, for example, Jerome Powell saying we're going to be 2% to 3% inflationary rate next year. So you're going to see 2% to 3% increase in your benefits in December. Incredible. Then asset allocation, they're taking off the cap so you could hold more cash on hand. Income exclusion, they're getting rid of that from 1962 because some of you like to work or some of you want to work, but you can't take in an income above a certain level. Now, some of you can't work. That's fine. But some of you want to work and you can't because it's not allowed under the current standard. They want to get rid of that, allow you to work if you want to. You don't have to. And then you can keep that money and still stay on benefits. And the threshold would be very high, $1,000, $2,000 a month approximately. Then they want to tie that to also inflation so that every year that number would go up. Great. Then they finally want to get rid of the marriage penalty. Just incredible, great stuff. So how, when, and how would this happen? This would, again, go into the 5th stimulus package in September, which as a reconciliation package will take 2 months to do. So you're likely to see the impact of this in your pocketbook, in your bank account, around in October or November approximately going forward. Incredible great news. Incredible great news. Meantime, we also had great news a week ago today, and it's still heating up from Ron Wyden. He wants to give other viewers this channel $6,000 per year, as often as you so need it. Let me go over that detail. Ron Wyden, bless him, because he really thinks out of the box. He understands that in September, PUA, FPUC, PEUC are going away. So he wants to not have PUA people never have anything. Remember, PUA people are not covered by unemployment because they're not employees. They're independent contractors. So he has introduced a bill to the Senate that would provide PUA people $250 a week up to 6 months per year, which is $6,000. It's incredible. And I really commend him for thinking out of the box. Viewers have asked me, would that start when PUA ends? Hard to say. It's depending on when it gets to a vote. I think that a lot of the bills you're hearing me talk about on this channel, they're Senate bills, they're going to try to slide into the forced stimulus package. I think they really are, because there's a couple reasons why. Remember, if you introduce a bill now to this Senate, after the Senate session is over, the bill expires. So you're hearing me talk about some bills, like Mitt Romney introduced a bill earlier this week to reform SSI in a way you don't want to have it reformed. Yeah, he's cutting your benefits. And that's not a new bill. It's actually a 3-year-old bill or a 2-year-old bill. So people may reintroduce a prior bill from a prior session. And in this recording, I'm going to go over a bill that Bernie Sanders reintroduced yesterday, I think it was. And sometimes these bills didn't get passed the first time for a reason. They weren't good the first time, and they're back for a second time. But in the case of Ron Wyden, I think what he may try to do is slide it into the recon. And with that, coming up at the commercial break, I have big news about third stimulus checks, those missing stimulus checks. Big news about a new EIDL grant going live in less than about 12 hours, 18 hours. Yes, this is breaking news. And also have the big breaking news about why Wall Street trashed, well, not trashed, I was going to say trashed and burned, fell significantly yesterday on this capital gains worry, and why now there's suggestions that the president's never going to get his way for that as well, for capital gains. All that great news is coming up after this commercial break. Stay back. Stay there. Did I say stay back? Back up. Stay here. I'll be back. You stay here. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Noon LA. You're currently watching Noon LA. I'll be back with you in 2 hours from now with the first afternoon's LA broadcast. And then we go into our evening's programming schedule. Afternoon's second show at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's that show you adore. I'll be in there with the live chats to say hello. Then evening's LALATE, followed by LA Late Night, our Reverend Sirloin Javita Late broadcast. I see a full room already today. How is everyone? I see Jenny and Gail and Crystal and Linda and Anne, and there's Kylie. And then there is Louisa and Crystal and then another Gail. Kylie asks, is there a specific day in May when that tax rebate for unemployment is coming in the month of May? No, they've not given an exact date. And remember, this is IRS, so they never send things on a particular day. IRS never sends something on like everyone's on the same day. They just sort of send things out. And they got a lot of checks to send out, folks. So expect that to just sort of roll and roll and roll. But great question. I love that question. Then another person in the chat said, how soon can they get these 4 stimulus checks out? I'll go over that in 1 second. But first, if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. How soon can they get these July checks out? In July. How soon in July? Maybe July 14th, approximately. Now, don't say you promised July 14th I get a check, because I'm not doing that. Why am I saying that? Because generally they can get stimulus check out within 10 days after it becomes law. Speaker Pelosi and Leader Schumer say the vote will be by July 4th. And I'm sure, as I'm saying that, someone's already pulling up a calendar and say, LALATE, July 14th is a Sunday. Yeah, I can smell someone saying that to me. It just always happens that way. It's always like a 5-day holiday. I happen to choose that date. So that's approximately. All right, so let's turn to the other big great news. If you've not gotten a third stimulus check of $1,400, congratulations. Get ready to wave. Get ready to wave, because wave 6 is on its way. It's actually on its way. For reasons we don't know, IRS announced this week that there's a wave 6 of the $1,400 third stimulus check. We thought we had waved it away at wave 5, but we are away to wave. Crash the waves with a wave 6. That wave 6 has already been sent out. So does that mean there's a wave 7 on the way? I don't know. I'm keeping the graphics for now because I'm not quite sure why we still have waves and why they can't just get it done. But it's great news. All right, breaking news for businesses. And I saw someone in the live chat say, did they ever go live with? No. How many times I gotta say this? I know the president did promise you a business grant to start a business or a business loan to start a business. Here's one thing to answer before I continue, though, on that subject. SBA.gov has always had business loans to start things. So go to SBA and just look around. It's not COVID-ish. It's not a COVID relief. But they've always had business loans to go start things. So go look at SBA.gov. But let's get to the big breaking news. The SBA announced within the last hour, almost half hour, that the shuttered venue grant, which has been shuttered itself for over a week, will be unshuttered and opening its drapes tomorrow. And they've actually announced the hour and the day. I don't know why they have to actually announce the hour, but I expect a stimulus stampede. So if you are not ready, get ready. Remember, SBA.gov will go live tomorrow with the shuttered venue grant. If you don't know if you qualify, go there right now. It's not just for venues. It's not just for what you think it is for. It includes talent representation. So take a look at it. It is not the $5,000 grant. That has not gone live. Meantime, those that have applied for the remainder of the $10,000 grant from February, some of you are stuck in a vortex. All right, so where is that big exciting news that Wall Street saw today that defied what happened yesterday with the President of the United States? Let me explain this slowly, because this is very, very, very important. It's important for you for purposes of fourth stimulus, it's important for fifth stimulus, and it's very important for you to understand where this economy is going. The President of the United States, under fourth stimulus, you have heard wants to raise corporate tax, but you've not heard about other taxes. I've told you that a series of news reports like Politico says that the fourth stimulus will include other taxes being raised that hits the middle class, but that there's been no determination finite about those, like inheritance tax. No one likes inheritance tax raised because it hits everyone. It doesn't just hit billionaires or trillionaires. But then this, yesterday, out of nowhere, Bloomberg ran an article that said the President of the United States next year is proposing for what would be ostensibly 6 stimulus to raise the capital gains tax from 20% to almost 45%, an astronomical doubling of the number. It is so huge that it just shocked the senses. It was not a direct quote from the president. So guess what happened today? Well, I'm speeding up a little too fast. Yesterday, when that news hit, Wall Street sunk badly. Crypto crashed badly. Today, crypto is still crashing. Why? Because the concept of capital gains is you pay taxes when you make a profit on something. You buy a car and you resell the car. You make a profit, capital gains. You buy a stock, you resell the stock, capital gains. It's very important for you to know this because if things are crashing around you, the economy is not rebounding. If things are not rebounding, you need more stimulus. Well, yesterday, Wall Street was very, very upset about this, and it went down severely. And crypto crashed and is still crashing. In fact, since yesterday, $200 billion of crypto has disappeared. As of this morning, Bitcoin was down below 50,000. At that point, Ethereum was down 11% and Bitcoin was down 8%. So what happened today? Interesting. A new report out today from one of the major banks says the president needs to stop with these insane high numbers. He's never going to get 40%. He'll maybe raise it a few percentage points, but never up to 40%. Oh boy, this means a lot. First, it means that someone's nipping at trying to get big numbers and needs to back off. And second, you are not going to have a big market crash, which is the better news across the board. Let's hear what happened today. The press secretary was asked about what happened yesterday. And once again, she did not answer the question. She was asked, well, how about that report that, yeah, she did wear teal today. She was asked, what about that report yesterday about these massive capital gains that would derail the economic recovery and take us into a tailspin down? She said, I've been doing this long enough not to comment on movements in the stock market. Yeah, well, how about commenting on how we're paying for stimulus? But I did see the data factually, and it went back up this morning. Well, no, it didn't go back up on its own accord. Rather, why it went up was because Congress and Americans and Wall Street saw a new report from Goldman Sachs today. It said, we expect that the president will not be able to raise the capital gains tax to this astronomical 40%, but rather something around maybe the mid 20%. It's currently at 20 now. It was suggesting maybe it'll come in at about 28%. And that was how we started the day. So that was that. And then there was Bernie. Weekend at Bernie's? Yeah, it's taxable. Breakfast at Bernie's? It's taxable. So what is Bernie Sanders doing today? He's doing something he should not be doing. Bernie Sanders is, of course, one of those advocates for those multiple stimulus checks. He is one of those advocates for SSI reform. He's doing some wonderful things. And for every time he does something wonderful, there's always something that makes no sense. And today he did something that makes no sense. So you just wish he wouldn't do those things that make no sense, because then it derails everything about our stimulus. Well, what did Bernie do today? He took a bill that, and who did he take the bill with? It can't be any worse than this. Who did he take the bill with? He took the bill with the person who wants to give you also multiple stimulus checks from the House. Oh my goodness. Here, let's look at the, remember this? Back in March, Tlaib and Jalapal introduced the bill to provide you monthly stimulus checks. Amen. What a wonderful thing. $2,000 per person and then $1,000 every month thereafter. What a wonderful, brilliant, wonderful thing to do. And after all that brilliance, then there's this. Today, the same persons, Jalapal and Bernie Sanders, proposed to take an old bill, which Bernie introduced 2 or 3 years ago that no one voted for then, and reintroduced to the Senate. So what does this bill propose to do? It proposes that if you individually make $125,000 a year, which is, 6 figures, you make 6 figures a year, you can have someone else pay for your kid's education. Who? Someone who makes less money than you. What? Yes, he proposes to tax people who buy and sell things at any income level. So let's say you only make $20,000 a year. Let's say you only make $20,000 a year, but you were very good in buying Tesla shares and you made $400 last year on it. Guess what? He wants to take some of your $400 away and give it to the person who made $125,000 last year so their kid can go to school for free. Yeah, doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, can we just, Bernie, can we just stop these other bills until we get our multiple stimulus checks for now? Let's just get the multiple stimulus checks out the door, and then we can do our SSI and SSDI reform in September. And then if you want to do, taking from the low-income people and giving it to people who make $125,000 so their kids can go to school, yeah, you can try all that stuff then. This stuff just doesn't make sense. Even Ron Wyden is, So there you are. It's been a great morning, and as we go into the start of the afternoon, let me tell you where we are across the board. And we have a big family of people in the chat. There's Kylie, and there's Louisa, and there is a Crystal, and also Jenny. Let me see who else is here. That doesn't make sense, El Marie. It does not make sense. I read it 4 times. I can't stop reading because it's sirloinish. It's very sirloinish. There's Christine, and there's Crystal, and Cole. We got a lot of similar names in here. And there's Helen, and there's Kathy, and Charlotte. What a beautiful name, Charlotte. So let me tell you where. Yeah, take money from low-income people and give it to people who make $125,000 so their kids can go to school for free. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Let me tell you where we are. Wall Street's relatively flat, so that's good compared to yesterday. Nasdaq's up about $1, 1%. But crypto, oh boy, crypto, you're feeling the pain. Oh my goodness. XPR is down 15%. Bitcoin is down 5%, Ethereum is down 7%, and that's on top of what happened yesterday. Meantime, minutes ago, a new report just came out. Wow, even during the time of this report, just seconds ago, a new report came out of the Federal Reserve that the Fed will not move on its policy changes next week. A new report says that the Fed, in announcing its meeting next week, will not change policy. This is huge. And you know why I like this? Because it's exactly correct. Earlier in the top of this recording, I told you that the economic data is relatively the same now as the week before. We're not rebounding any faster. 8 million jobs missing, 8 million jobs missing, 16 million people unemployed. We're improving, but we're not improving at an exponential rate. It's exactly what the Fed should be doing. Don't change policy. And that, my friends, means stimulus. Remember, when the Fed is supporting the economy, Congress will support the economy. And with that, thank you for joining me on a beautiful noontime. I'll be back in 2 hours from now with Afternoons LA. Make sure you go to the Friends channel and subscribe. I want you part of this family. I enjoy you be tuning in every day, and we have a lot of great shows still coming up later today. Also like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. I'll look forward to seeing you later, and whether it's teal or muddy blue, yeah, that's actually from today. That's actually from today. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay here with LA.